Hey everyone, it is good to be back. I'm finally moved into my new house. I appreciate your patience and your support. Welcome to the Thinking Crypto channel, where we cover the crypto news and we interview many of the folks who are building and investing in the crypto asset class. Please hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and leave a comment below. Guys, since I've been out over the past week or so, a lot of things have taken place. Things are moving pretty fast in the crypto market. We saw Bitcoin cross over $11,000 once again, a very good sign since we had, a big drop off and it went back down to 10,000 and all that good stuff. But all market cycles, remember that. And you got to look at this market from a macro level. I always point to the Bitcoin stock to flow model, and even just zooming out on the charts that you may see on CoinMarketCap to see where we've come from and where we're going, guys. So certainly expecting higher prices as we head towards the end of the year and into next year for sure, because we are in a bull market, and after each Bitcoin halving cycle, we've seen a rise in price because you have supply and demand economics kick in, where the supply gets cut in half and we've seen the demand growing from institutional investors. And one such, guys, is now JP Morgan. JP Morgan's CEO Jamie Dimon once called Bitcoin a fraud, a scam. You would lose your money if you invest in it. He also said, "Don't talk to me about it." Many of you remember those comments back in 2017. I was here for it. Many of you were here as well. And now they're doing a total 180. JP Morgan call Square's $50 million Bitcoin investment strong vote of confidence for the cryptocurrency. And if you guys recall, earlier this year, their analysts put out a report saying Bitcoin and crypto has staying power because it survived the bloodbath, market crash that we saw. It was across the board. Stocks, oil, everything took a hit, right? Crypto was no exception, but it survived and recovered very well. So guys, the tide is turning. Things are just moving in the right direction here. The naysayers, the haters, the skeptics are now capitulating, and we're seeing it across the board. And of course, the big news that I missed because I was moving was Square, Jack Dorsey, right? Bought 4,709 Bitcoins, a $50 million investment. Now, if you guys recall, just 3 weeks ago, I did a video talking about this. Would Jack Dorsey put some of the 10 billion, of cash that both Twitter and Square has into Bitcoin? And I said, it's certainly possible because he's a Bitcoin bull, right? And lo and behold, they did it. Now they're following suit in what MicroStrategy, which really started this trend, in putting their cash reserves into Bitcoin. And Michael Saylor, who's the CEO of MicroStrategy, he's been tweeting a lot about Bitcoin. For example, just a tweet from today, he said, Apple is a mobile network. Google is a search network. Facebook is a social network. Bitcoin is a monetary network. All benefit from advances in software and hardware technology, as well as Metcalfe's law. Many understand the former, few understand the latter. So the evolution of money is taking place. Bitcoin is leading that charge. Whether you love or hate Bitcoin, the facts are the facts. And that is why I hold Bitcoin in my portfolio. Now, I just don't hold Bitcoin. I hold XRP, Ethereum, VeChain, and others, right? Because it's an asset class, and there's different tokens that serve different purposes and different use cases. So Square's recently announced $50 million investment in Bitcoin is a strong vote of confidence for the future of Bitcoin and a signal the payments company sees a lot of potential for the cryptocurrency as an asset, JP Morgan analyst said in a report dated Tuesday. Other payment companies will also likely follow in Square's footsteps or risk getting shut out of a growing segment. Let me repeat that. other payment companies will also likely follow in Square's footsteps or risk getting shut out of a growing segment, the JP Morgan analyst wrote. Yeah, no kidding. It is growing, and these companies putting their cash reserves as a hedge against inflation, putting it into Bitcoin is a big vote of confidence, and that is why an $80,000 to $100,000 Bitcoin price point is not far-fetched. It is not something that is unlikely. It is very likely. Now, can I say exactly when or how it's going to hit 100,000? No. But, we will certainly see in that range, I personally believe. Just looking at the stock to flow model and the demand that we are seeing from these different companies. So, guys, this is bullish. I mean, this is the news you want to see as an investor. And being in this market since 2016, to see the change that has taken place in the narrative, in the dialogue, guys, is pretty amazing. And we know the governments are on board. The regulations are being rolled out. So really, really big news here. And I'm super excited. And once I see company CEOs and these companies that have nothing to do with crypto are putting money into it, that is big time. Here's another update from today. A $10 billion firm makes Bitcoin its primary treasury asset. Wow. Stone Ridge Holdings Group announces $50 million in new funding for its digital asset subsidiary, as well as significant Bitcoin treasury holdings. So this is NLW digs into what Stone Ridge is, why it spun off New York Digital Investments Group, NYDIG, and how the company has quietly built itself into a serious player in the institutional crypto asset space. So, I mean, look at what is taking place here, right? This is absolutely the news you want to see as an investor. And patience is the key here, because these things don't happen all at once or overnight. It's a process, right? And it's going to go through the market cycles. But guys, we are in the bull market. Be patient and just sit back and watch the money flow in. Here's another bullish news item. Grayscale announces best ever quarter with over $1 billion raise. It seems like every quarter they're coming out saying, hey, we beat our old record, right? Quarter over quarter increases and year over year increases. That's amazing. It means they're getting a lot of demand. A lot of people are putting the money in, and Grayscale is a good measuring stick or a good way to get a pulse on who or how the institutional investors are interacting with the market, because they primarily service institutional investors. So digital asset manager Grayscale Investments has posted its best quarterly results to date, having brought in just over $1 billion in investment across all of its cryptocurrency products. So not just Bitcoin, because they have an XRP trust, an Ethereum trust, they have a Bitcoin Cash trust. So they're seeing money spread across the different trusts. And that is awesome, guys. Diversification, right? Like I said, I hold Bitcoin, but others as well. And for the year so far, the figure stands at $2.4 billion, which Grayscale said is more than twice the total amount raised for the years 2013 through 2019. See what's happening? It's heating up. It is heating up. They're coming in, guys. The macroeconomic situations, the inflation, the excessive money printing is driving these people to diversify where they're putting their cash in to preserve their wealth and to grow it, of course. And crypto, like Paul Tudor Jones said, is the fastest horse in the race. So that's not to say he's putting all his money in crypto, but he's putting a good amount in, right? Because crypto is on the rise. Think of it as the dot-com stocks in the 90s, right? And growing over time. The same thing is happening here, but I think at a much faster pace, because it's a global asset class due to the blockchain setup where you don't have borders anymore. It's all digital, and the blockchain verifies everything. So it doesn't matter what country or what government you sit under. If you have an internet connection and you have access to an exchange or whatever it may be, you can get into this asset class, which is amazing. The other big news that I missed, well, I shouldn't say missed, but while I was out, it took place, which I thought was so significant. So here we have Perion Boring, who's the founder and president of the Digital Chamber of Commerce. Well, they've given every member of Congress $50 in Bitcoin. That's just a smart idea, right? Put it in their hands so that they can see the power of the blockchain technology, they can experience it, and they can see that value go up as Bitcoin's price raises, right? This is such a smart idea because we got to get a lot of the attention of these older, and I'm not an ageist because you have like Tom Emmer, Warren Davidson, Darren Soto, who are on board with crypto to get it. But you have some folks in there who, they're not forward thinking and they're not looking at the future and the potential that blockchain and crypto has to create more tax revenues, more jobs, and boost the economy, right? A lot of them are not thinking that way. So you got to really keep pushing and fighting and, do the lobbying, which Ripple and Coinbase and many crypto companies have been doing. But this is such a great thing. And Perion she was on CNBC talking about it. So great exposure. Bitcoin for Congress. Look at that title, right? That's awesome, guys. So I always, mention to you guys, we are so lucky. We are here early, and look at what is happening right before our eyes. Things are progressing, and they're just moving in the right direction. And we saw Chris Giancarlo retweet this video saying crystal clear. Right? He's trying to get it going, man. He's pushing the digital dollar. He said XRP is not a security. He's been out there trying to get things going. He knows what he's doing. He gets it. And, unfortunately, he's not still the chairman of the CFTC, but he once was. But this shows you just the, kind of bureaucracy and government thing. These guys sometimes can't come out and say certain things when they're in office, but now that he's out of office, the shackles, the chains have been loosened. He's kind of free to say what he wants, but it just shows sometimes the government setup just delays everything, right? And it's just not functional, or doesn't function as a well-oiled machine sometimes. But I digress. Things are moving ahead, and we can hope for better and for change, of course. But I think we got a lot of folks on our side. This is a great move, giving Congress lawmakers and all these folks, some Bitcoin, and they can experience it for themselves. So this is awesome. Another big indicator of how this asset class is growing is when you see kind of the poaching of traditional financial experts and professionals and bringing them into the crypto market. We've seen people from the NASDAQ and Goldman Sachs and all over the place coming into the crypto market. And Winklevoss twins, which of course you guys know, I've interviewed them. Really cool guys. They're doing some great things for the market. They've brought over a former Morgan Stanley executive, right, to their exchange Gemini. And that's amazing to watch it unfold. And, sometimes folks would be like, oh, who cares? What about the price, man? I want to be rich, right? Well, these are the things that are going to come to a head here as the asset class grows, and you're going to see higher prices. You need the right people. You need the people experienced with finance and all the dealings that you have to do with government and traditional finance, because as I've stated, guys, this asset class is going to be positioned the same way the stock market is. And it's going to be bigger than the stock market because it's going to be a 24 hours, 7 days a week market. And it's a global market where you don't have to worry about, hey, I'm in Hong Kong, I can't buy this stock that's on the NASDAQ or whatever it is, right? Because things are going to be tokenized. It breaks down all those barriers, and crypto is, of course, leading it, right? And you have your digital assets, you're going to have your security tokens. All of those things are part of this asset class, all on the blockchain 24/7. No more opening and closing bell. That is going to be a thing of the past. You're going to see everything tokenized, real estate tokenized, artwork tokenized. We've seen cars start getting tokenized, guys. So, and what's going to happen is going to be full interoperability, where you're going to be able to take your Bitcoin or XRP or Ethereum and buy, part of the Empire State Building, as an example, right? If the Empire State Building gets tokenized, you can do that. So, even into companies, and you guys have seen my interview with the one guy, I forgot his name, Alex. I forgot his last name, guys, but I interviewed him where he tokenized himself. Get ready to see entrepreneurs tokenizing themselves, guys. It's coming. So, for example, if Elon Musk tokenized himself and you get a cut of, in a sense of like dividends from his salary or his earnings, or whatever it may be, that's just imagine that, right? And they get to raise that money initially. Here it is, Alex Masmej. So he had tokenized himself. He just did it for a small amount of $20,000. But get ready for folks to come out and tokenize themselves and raise millions of dollars, and you're going to be able to invest in that person, right? It's amazing. It's amazing the potential of blockchain and tokenization and how crypto is leading it. So guys, what do you think about this news? A lot of big updates. I probably didn't hit all the stuff here, but at least the major items. I think this is significant. JP Morgan just changing their tune. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And I go back to, what I've said over the years. I personally think it's a smoke and mirrors move that Jamie Dimon did initially. I think he's holding Bitcoin. I think the JP Morgan Chase are holding Bitcoin and crypto, but they're going to put out a narrative in the public. Don't put your money in it. It's a scam, right? Because they want to get in at the lows. And then what are they going to do? Flip the narrative and sell it back to the average Joes for 5 times the price with their fees, right? That's how the game has been played for a long time. But as I said, count yourself lucky. You are here early in this asset class ahead of the other 99% of the world. And I'm not pulling this stuff out of the air and try to fluff it up. The facts are right in front of our face. That's why I make these videos and I show you the sources of where I'm getting the information from. I'm not, waking up one morning and telling you a conspiracy theory. I'm telling you what are the facts. What are these people actually saying and doing? And it's amazing to watch it unfold. So guys, leave your thoughts and comments below. Share this video if you found it helpful. Hit the thumbs up button, and I will talk to you all later.